Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to look at a significant error which proves that the Quran writers were borrowing from Syriac. The problem is they didn't recognize the Syriac very well. They made some schoolboy errors. So the title today is Quranic Scribes Butchered a Syriac word and left a permanent Arabic translation error in the Quran. Before we go into it, it's important to reference a very important paper here, Robert Kerr's Aramaisms in the Quran and their significance. So this was published way back in 2012. Further to the north, in the geographical area of Syro-Palestine, which includes the Egyptian Sinai, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and southeastern Turkey, and northwestern Iraq, was Arabia Petraea, or the Provincia Arabia, the Roman border province whose capital was Petra. This region had been exposed to Greco-Roman culture for close to a millennium. The major written languages here were Greek and various Aramaic dialects, the most important of which was Syriac. Furthermore, much of the population of this region, unlike in Arabia Deserta, had converted to one form or another of Christianity, which was anything but an homogeneous monolithic entity. Now, you can see in the map there to the right, there is Arabia Petraea, and this is where we find writing like the Quranic text, whereas down south you find Sabaic primarily and a Sabaic script. Now, towards the west, there were Jews that were familiar with Aramaic. To the east, there were Jews who were more familiar with Arabic. This posed a major problem because many Jews were not that familiar with Hebrew in the 7th century. It became less well spoken, and so when they're dealing with the scripture, they needed to have targum in their own language. Now, the word targum is primarily used in relation to Aramaic, but essentially they were doing the same for Arabic. They were taking their scriptures, translating it into Arabic. The Quran was doing something similar to that. Now, the Quran actually means lectionary. Kiriana is the Syriac word. But the writers of the Quran were translating texts that were originally in Aramaic and translating them to Arabic. The problem is sometimes they made mistakes. So this video is looking at a primary example of mistake, and it's a stupid mistake. It's one that you wouldn't expect someone who knew anything about Syriac to make. They weren't paying close attention to the diacritical marks, as we'll see. So the mistake involves this passage in Surah 18, the cave. And you can see there that there's references to dogs in the text. Now, to help us with that, we're actually going to the official Saint Murad translation, one which we will use from here on in. And if you're not aware, it has just been released. So if you've been on the email list that Murad had uh, mentioned, you are now able to get hold of this translation. Okay, so we're going to basically focus on ayah 21 onwards. I'm reading it out of context here a little bit because I'm more interested today in the fact that there's a reference to a dog in the Arabic. So from verse 21 or ayah 21, they will soon say three, their hound is their fourth, and will say five, their hound is their sixth, flinging by the absence, and will say seven, and their hound is their eighth. Say, my Lord is more knowledgeable by their count, none them except a few, so do not wrangle in them except a disclosed wrangle, and do not seek elucidating anyone from them in them. Now, here, the important thing is the fact that they're obsessed with this word here, which is translated as hound, you would think that the sleepers who are the Christians that have been in the cave for, as you can see down below in second last line, 300 years, you would think that would be the main focus, but for some strange reason, the focus seems to be on a dog that was in the cave, or a hound, as Murad translates it as. But have they got the word wrong? Have they got the original Syriac wrong? Because it's an odd thing for a dog to be resurrected, or at least kept alive for 300 years, whichever way you want to interpret the story. Here is a key thing. Kaliyahum is the Syriac word. It means their protector. This has been misread as Kalbuhum, their dog. So they're misreading the text. You can see it down below in the second last line. Kalbuhum, and you can see there's one diacritical point underneath, versus Kalium hum, and there's two diacritical dots underneath. This word is probably Syriac in origin. Now, Sasha, who's a good friend of the channel, has asked some Syriac speakers to check with this. And so we have confirmation that actually this is coming from a Syriac word, which actually means guardian or protector. Okay, there's Sasha there. Can this word in skeletal text be a Syriac word for guardian or protector? And the response was what we've just read. In Quran's version of the sleepers, the word kalbuhum, their dog, appears. This dog has arms. Now, this is probably a misreading of kaliyahum, something like their protector in the originally undotted text. So that's where the issue rose. They were trying to interpret the text, and they've picked the wrong word. Kalbahum, kalahum. This word is probably Syriac in origin. Answer from Syriac speaker is yes, it's correct in Syriac. So that's, again, Neb said yes, it's correct in Syriac. Kalbo aha is also another way of saying it. So we're dealing with a word which means guardian or protector. Now, in the context of a number of Christians held up in a cave for 300 years, now this story could be legendary, but that's not the point. Does it make more sense that the word would be guardian, as in guardian angel, or does it make more sense that the word is dog who has not legs but arms? Does that make sense? It makes more sense to think that it's referring to an angel who can, of course, have arms. Okay, so that is it for today. Short and sweet. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing a series soon on the Maltese language with a special guest who's going to come very shortly onto the channel. And it's going to be very interesting in terms of what it's going to reveal about the development of the Arabic language. So stay tuned for that. Bye bye.